before we go into the agenda, Kayla, can you just verify attendance and call the roll? Oh, can you hear us?
Sorry about that. I was muted. Christopher
No
Monroe.
problem. Present.
Doug Thornton.
Present.
Thomas, are you a member?
Yes, I am. Thomas Russo from Athol.
Thomas or so. Dean Valier.
Present.
Guy Corsaro.
Present.
JPB.
Jeff Bennett.
Jeff, are you there?
Cat.
All right, continue it.
Kathleen Cashel.
Yep, that's right.
Kyle Nardowitz.
Present.
Robert Schwartz. Robert Schwartz. Robert Schwartz. He's having technical difficulty. Oh, here he is. Robert Schwartz.
He is present.
Yeah. And then Amanda Reed popped on as we were going down the list.
Present.
Let me just make sure I got everyone. Okay. And then, okay. Yep. That's every member.
Excellent, thank you. So moving forward on the agenda, the first item we have is the acceptance of the previous minutes for July 10th, 2025. I would like to proceed by getting a motion for acceptance, followed by a second, and then dealing with any corrections during the discussion, followed by friendly amendment. Would somebody like to make that a motion?
Guy Corbisiero would like to move to accept the minutes as presented.
Excellent, thank you. Here in the first, do we have a second?
Second.
Excellent.
Schwartz, second.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Schwartz. So we have 2 seconds on that. And any corrections or updates to the minutes before we call for a vote? All right, hearing none, calling a vote, and the vote will be by roll call. Kayla, would you call the vote, please?
Yep. Doug Thornton.
Yes. Aye.
Christopher Monroe.
Aye.
Robert Schwartz.
Aye.
Dean Valier.
Dean Valier, aye.
Thomas Rousseau.
Thomas Russo, aye.
Alan Pease.
Aye.
Guy Corsaro.
Aye.
Amanda Reed.
Aye.
Dean Valier. I'm sorry, this is a new format for me.
Already voted, aye.
Yeah, sorry. JPB.
I vote yes.
Kathleen Cashel,
I was not in attendance. This is my first meeting, so I'm assuming I can't vote.
You technically can vote, but you're welcome to abstain.
Okay, then I'll vote yes.
Kyle Nardowitz,
Aye.
and we got Thomas Rousseau. So that's everyone.
Excellent, thank you. The minutes are accepted. Moving further down our agenda, we have the reading of the warrant and the cash schedule. Mr. Schwartz, would you do us
Can
the
do
honors?
that.
Thank you.
Cash schedule
Please.
for July 1st through July 31st, 2025. Opening balances as of June 30, 2025. $454,298.79. Cash receipts. The total is $582,069.16. Total cash on hand before this warrant, $1,038,300. Wait a minute, I lost my place. $367.86. Less the amount of this warrant in all cash disbursements, $275,176.27. Balance after this warrant, $761,191.99. On deposit as of July 31, 2025, $761,191. $761,191.59. I move to accept this cash schedule as presented, subject to audit. Bob Schwartz.
Excellent, thank you. Hearing a first, do we have a second?
Guy Carvacara, second.
Thank you, Mr. Corvacero. Hearing a first and a second, any discussion? All right, calling a vote through roll call.
Christopher Monroe,
Aye.
Robert Schwartz,
Aye.
Alan Pease,
Aye.
Amanda Reed,
Aye.
Dean Valier,
Valier, aye.
Doug Thornton,
Aye.
Guy Cobracero,
Aye.
Mary Jo Bohart,
Aye.
JPB, JPB,
I vote yes.
Kathleen Cashel,
Yes.
Kyle Nardowitz,
Aye.
Thomas Rousseau,
Aye.
and that's the roll.
Excellent, thank you. Any commissioners missed in the roll call? All right, the motion carries. The schedule is accepted. So before we move into administrative matters, just want to thank everybody for coming out deep into the dog days of summer. But it's good that we keep the schedule. So moving into administrative matters, we have, we have guest announcements and questions. I was nearly remiss. Do we have any guest announcements or questions? All right. So then we are into administrative matters, which is introducing the climate leaders in municipal buying, CLIMB. So Sophie Collins. I'm sorry, Glenn, did you have more of an introduction you wanted to do there?
No, Mr. Chair, that's perfect. I mean, Sophie's with
Okay.
the Massachusetts Operational Services Division, and she's here as a guest speaker tonight. We hope to have more guest speakers in the future. Sophie, please take it away from me.
I can share my screen, but I did send my slides, so I'm not sure if you wanted to share it from your end. But I have it up so I can share it. No. Oh, there it is. Awesome. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Sophie Collins from the Operational Services Division. If you don't know OSD, we handle the statewide procurement contracts. I'm a climate data specialist, and I'm a part of the team that created CLIMB, the Climate Leaders in Municipal Buying. So CLIMB is a quarterly networking and informational meeting on all things sustainable procurement. I'm here to invite you all to the kickoff meeting, which takes place September 15th at 10 a.m. on Zoom. I'm going to drop the link to register in the chat when I'm done talking. Our goal is to make our statewide contracts more applicable to municipalities in general, so that they'll want to use them. They are helpful for you guys. So we really want your feedback on what you like, what you don't like about our contracts, what you wish they'd offer, or what you think they're missing, and so forth. So it'll also be a space for you to hear about how some climate municipal champions are utilizing OSD's contracts to achieve their sustainability goals. And we'll have lots of open discussions for you to be able to ask them questions, as well as we'll have our contract managers at the meetings, our local government enablement group, and our environmental preferable products expert will be in attendance as well to answer all of your questions in this open format discussion. So we specifically tailored this meeting for when a few key contracts are ripe for input, because about 22 months before a new contract starts, 22 months before is when is the best time to get new input in for when the RFR is being developed. So we'll be covering the following contracts and discussing how municipalities can use these contracts to purchase sustainable products and services, and how to use them to achieve your climate goals. So not just procuring an electric vehicle, say, but using our trade contract to hire the electrician to install an electrical vehicle charger. So the contracts that we'll be talking about at our first meeting, I'm sorry I don't have them up, but I'll put them in the chat as well. That's FAC 115, which is our security services contract, FAC 121, which is our water treatments, chemicals, and alternative treatment systems contract, TRD 02, which is our trade services, VEH 111, which is heavy duty vehicles, road maintenance, and construction equipment, and VEH 114, which is light duty vehicles. As it says on the slide, any municipal employees are welcome, or RPA employees that do work in sustainability or procurement. So any procurement professionals, sustainability coordinators, public works directors, any other local leaders that are looking to learn from OSD, learn from their peers, ask questions, and explore the full potential of sustainable and streamlined purchasing. So yeah, that's all I have to share. We'd love your participation. I'm going to drop the link to register to the first meeting in the chat right now. And I'm going to put my email there as well. So if you have any questions after this meeting, I'm welcome to take any questions now, but if you have any questions after the meeting, I'm welcome to answer them over email. So that's it. Thanks for listening and thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for coming. Any questions from the commission or from the staff? I do have one quick question myself. Is this also being pushed out through appropriate channels out to our various town administrators or town managers?
Yes, so we've been collecting the procurement officials' names and emails and the sustainability coordinators of towns' emails if a town does have that. In some cases for small towns, the town administrator is the point person for all of it. So we've been collecting those emails. So we have a big email list that this registration link has gone out to, but of course there can always be people missing, employee turnover, like maybe the old emails that we have are old. So that's why we're trying to get ourselves in these RPA meetings to get this Zoom link registration in front of as many people as possible so we can have a really productive conversation.
Excellent. Well, thank you for coming to our meeting.
Thank you. Okay, I'll head out then. All right, have a good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Take care. All right, moving forward on the agenda, we have a brownfields presentation. Glenn, would you like to take the lead on that one?
Sure. Basically, items 5.2, 5.3, 5.4, and 5.5 are all informational tonight. So under the brownfields, this is the next chapter in the book where the policy is still under review by MRPC's attorney, David Bedanza, and we believe we'll have it back from him for adoption. I say in the fall there, we're targeting September. So I did talk to David about 10 days ago, and I believe he's on target to get it to us by the end of August so we can present it on in September. I will close by saying, we have, when you start on the cash schedule, we have over 360 or 365,000 in program income to relend for site assessments and for site cleanups. So we want to adopt the policy finally, and then market the program this fall and make some loans. It's pretty straightforward. I don't really have anything other than that, Mr. Chairman, unless anybody has questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Excellent, thank you. Moving forward in the agenda to 5.3.
Similar state. So our current chairman has a great depth of knowledge in the area. I'm just going to call it tech because I can't tell you what he does, but he can help us out. And Holly and I have a meeting with Christopher later this month. We want to bring this AI policy to the commissioners to the September meeting for adoption. And if you'll receive it ahead of time. Basically, Holly and I are going to talk to Christopher. After that, we're going to share it with the department heads. After that, we'll email it to the commissioners before the September 4th meeting. And then if you want to absorb it then, and then if you want to adopt it, go ahead. If not, you want 30 more days to adopt it, we can target an adoption on October 9th. So it's up to you folks. So here's the path to get toward an adoption of an AI policy. So the goal here is to have guardrails in place so the staff can use AI to the benefit of plans, but stay within certain parameters, just like about every other employer is doing these days. That's all I really have on that right now. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask.
Excellent, thank you. And just to add to that, just from my own personal experience, this has been a rapidly moving target and rapidly evolving situation. And if anybody saw the Wall Street Journal today in their article about the release of ChatGPT 5.0, OpenAI, the company that makes it, is asserting that it can carry on a conversational, doctorate level conversation about any topic or subject matter. So there's certainly a lot to think about with what's going on.
It was a great article, Christopher. Glad you pointed that out.
Yep. All right, so moving forward on the agenda, we have a budget update. So Mr. Eden, this item is also yours.
Very, very quickly, I'm not going to go into details. We'll go into more details when we do a quarterly update in September. And Karen has more depth of knowledge in recently completed projects. So I'm going to defer to her if she wants to talk about recently completed project or not. That's up to you, Karen. That's okay. I'm not painting you in a corner. You don't have to. The bottom line is, at this time of year, there are projects that come to an end, usually around June 30th. You'll see more highlights in September, where we're going to talk more about ongoing initiatives. So those first two bullets, as an example, we finished the future industrial lands analysis project in May. There's a report out, which I don't know if we publish or not, but that's neither here nor there. But the agency, the staff does a lot of planning, does a lot of projects, and we want to push them out, make sure you're aware of them. And then we want to have other projects that follow those, or new initiatives, new planning initiatives. There are grants that are pending. You'll see more details in September. There are several, couple of community one-stop grants that are pending. Again, we'll give you the details in September. And the fourth bullet is, as an example, we're pursuing with the Central Mass Regional Planning Commission a $750,000 historic preservation and planning grant from the National Park Service, I believe. Karen, please, if I use any of the wrong words, I'm going to beg you please correct me, and thank you very much. And I said a separate handout may be provided if I wasn't able to pull it together for this meeting, but we will be pulling it together for the September meeting. I'll bore you with some more detail in September. That's all I really had for that. The objective here with these updates is to make sure that, when you start with a $250,000 deficit with around a 2.7 or $2.8 million proposed budget, you get about a 10% deficit. You want to chip away at it. So it's our job to tell you how we're chipping away at it. And that's the gist of this item. And this item will remain on the agenda throughout the year, at least quarterly. Thanks for your time on that. Happy to answer questions. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any questions from the commission on the item? All right, moving forward on the agenda to 5.5, the next lunch and learn. Mr. Eden?
So the fifth lunch and learn will be at date August 27. I'll send out an official notice by Monday to local officials again. I started this in April when the new federal administration was cutting federal funds, and it started out to be federal funding cuts, what you know, what you don't know, what we need to learn. And we started learning from each other, planning commission staff and people in the city and town halls. We enhanced it a little bit. We broadened it in July. Bernie Cahill talked a lot about grant applications or funding sources that are available to communities, but talk to us 9 to 12 months before the deadlines. And a lot of those deadlines are January to June of next year, most likely a lot of them May and June. But we're going to broaden again the lunch and learn for August 27th. We'll talk about some projects in these bullets and beyond. Thank you, Holly. The Bernie's presentation, all grants that are available are located in the handouts folder, and Kayla just pulled it up. Thanks a bunch. So that's available for you tonight for downloading. And then you can read it and get back to us. But if you have any questions, just go back to Bernie or Karen, or pick a planner of your choice on the contact list and talk to us. But we do want to pursue other grants as well. We just finished, as I said, the Future Industrial Lands Project, but that needs to be followed by something else. So we've identified several communities like Hubbardston, Lancaster, Westminster, and others that have areas ripe for developing business parks. I don't mean commercial service and retail, but I mean, widget making and warehousing and distribution points. So there's also the third bullet talks about the energy siting permitting and reforms that just hit my email yesterday or the day before from the governor's office. So we need to help our communities with those issues as well. And I mentioned the historic planning and rehab. We're doing an ongoing recreation sites for economic development grant right now. Again, that's Karen's wheelhouse, that she can talk about that if she wants. It's in the status reports also. We may add some other topics for these lunch and learns, but I want these to be dynamic, and I want we owe local officials information because our enabling statute says help communities. Also, you are a source of information, not just questions, so you can help each other. So I'd like to see peers help help peers. So that's the next lunch and learn. That's the gist of what's going to happen. I'll send out the official invitation Monday, and then I'll send out probably 2 reminders before the next one. End of August. I believe that's it under admin matters. So back to you, Mr. Chair. Thanks for your time, folks.
Excellent, thank you. So that pulls us into item 6, department updates. Just to remind everybody, the status of all ongoing projects can be found using the link to pull the layer off of Mr. Mapper. We do have the staff here and present to answer any questions. Are there any updates from GIS?
Yeah, so we pushed out all the laptops to the majority of staff, except for the transportation department. Transportation department got new laptops in 2023. So everyone got new laptops except for the transportation department in the last month, including myself and Jason. And then on the GIS side, we just finished parcel updates for, I believe we do 6 communities, so that's kind of on a rolling basis. Over the last 2 months, we've done that. And then currently, I am working on updating the maps for MART. They redid their bus routes 1 through 11 on the Fitchburg-Leominster lines. So I'm working on updating those route maps. And I'm also, constantly working on the MBTA compliance models and working with the planners in Karen's department on those. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Excellent. Thank you. Any questions from the commission? All right. Any updates from the planning department?
Yes, thank you, Chris, Mr. Chair. Sorry if I repeat anything that Glenn said. I had a list of things to go over. So first is the MORE project, the Massachusetts Office of Outdoor Recreation. I let you guys know in June that we received the grant in the amount of $60,000, which we are sharing with the North Central Mass Chamber of Commerce tourism arm, which is called Visit North Central Mass. They already have a bunch of data on their website, and so we're going to work with them. The purpose is to inventory all outdoor recreational sites and their assets in our region, so every community, to assist with recreation planning, marketing, promotion, and public information. The state will create a web platform for marketing promotion of outdoor recreation assets. So you'll be able to go on there and find whatever you want to do outside and where to do it. And the chamber will also put all the data onto their website. And then, so our interns, we hired 4 interns and they've been working diligently since June 1st. And they're actually done in 2 weeks, which is amazing that it's gone so fast. So they've been collecting data in the office and they've started to go out in the field, and they've been reaching out to municipalities to gain permission to take photos and GPS trails, even though there's public access. Some organizations, like, for example, Fish and Wildlife, don't want their information to be on a website. They don't even like you to have trails on there. And so we're working on that project. That project goes until June of 26. And so that's going on. The Paul Brune Historic Revitalization Grant, what Glenn was talking about, we're collaborating with CMRPC. If awarded, the 2 RPAs will sub-grant to municipalities to foster economic development in rural communities through the rehab of local historic buildings and resources. We expect to apply for $750,000, and the application is due August 21st. I know I mentioned, I think back in February, that we were working on this, and then it got put on the back burner because we didn't know if it was going to be happening, but now it's happening. So if you have any, if you want to let the historic commission know, or whoever in your town, that that's happening. Department of Energy Resources, DOER, is going to attend the September commission meeting to present information on the new energy siting and permitting law. The law creates a streamlined process, outlines specific timelines, and establishes a single appeals process while enhancing community input and supporting equitable project review. The law establishes a 12-month deadline for municipal permitting and requires municipalities to issue a single permit at the end of their process. So basically, communities have to come up with how they're going to permit this. It's similar to 40B, and where there'll be one entity that gives a permit, but all of the other boards will have to have some kind of input. So it's unclear, but they're coming in September to talk about that. So bring your questions for that. In November, the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities, EOHLC, will be coming to present information and take questions on the new accessory dwelling unit law. So bring your questions on that. We have been helping our communities update and amend their zoning bylaws and ordinances. Next, Municipal Vulnerability Preparedness, or MVP 2.0 program, requires communities to take the next steps in the MVP process. MRPC staff are considering training to become certified to assist with this process and help our communities with grant applications. When MVP first came out, myself and John Hume were trained in it, and we did some of the work with our communities on the CRB process, or community resilience something, I forget, sorry. So we'll be you'll be hearing from us on that. Bernie Cahill, one of our principal planners who sends out the grant opportunities, sent it for this month, and it's also in the handouts. He'll also be sending out an email to offer assistance with planning for the next round of MVP and One Stop for Growth, which are both in the spring. But we want to start in the fall and maybe meet with all communities that want to meet with us to prioritize MVP projects or master plan goals and objectives, housing goals and objectives, what have you, so we can be prepared for those grant programs. One important completed project that we are very glad to be done with, even though it was a great program, is digital equity. We completed digital equity plans for 9 of our communities, and then we assisted them with applying for implementation funding. So all of that is into MBI, and hopefully the communities will get their money soon and do those projects. Like Glenn said, the filter project, future industrial land for future industrial land. Help
For
me,
long
Glenn.
term, for
For
it's
long
okay,
term.
economic recovery and
Economic
resiliency.
recovery and resilience. There
Yes,
was a
ma'am.
final report on that I'm not sure if it's on our website, but I will make sure that it's on our website. And from the results of that, we're hoping, like Glenn said, to apply for some additional EDA funding to try and get things moving on that front. So any questions for me on that or anything else?
I do have one question going back to the outdoor resource assessment. Have the interns
Yes.
been reaching out to any of the local stakeholder groups, like the New England Mountain Bike Association or the like the Berry Riders or Bay State Trail Association, or any of those? Because a
Yes.
lot of those organizations have pretty exhaustive maps
Yes.
in
Yes,
addition to what
they're-
some of the towns have.
Yes, they're absolutely reaching out to those organizations.
Okay. I do some volunteer work with the New England Mountain Bike Association. I just had not heard anything about it from them. So if they're having trouble getting a hold of somebody, I'd be happy to facilitate that.
NEMB. NEMB?
Yet New England Mountain Bike Association, NEMBA. There's
Okay,
also
yeah.
the Bay State Trails Association.
Zach Kay, who's our regional planner, and he's managing this project with the interns. He's a biker, so I
Mhm.
imagine that those are part of the process. But I will make sure.
Yeah, the reason I think specifically for them, I also sit on the advisory committee, the trail advisory committee to the Ware River watershed. And you can just look at the list of the members of that. And that would essentially just be a list of all of the people who are potential stakeholders who probably have a lot of mapping of those resources and of those permissions.
So do you believe they have geodatabases or shape files or something that they may be willing to
Yes.
share? Okay.
Yeah, they certainly would at least have GPX tracks.
Awesome. Great. Thank you, Christopher. Did you hear that, Kayla? Kayla's working on this project.
Yeah, and I know Hubbardston in particular has detailed GPX tracks of pretty much all trails in the town, even
Okay.
trails that are not permissioned, but they do have appropriate labeling on them. There's a gentleman who works in
Okay.
Hubbardston who also works for DCR. But yeah, no, that's a super exciting process. Happy to see the state moving that way.
Yes, absolutely. Kayla, do you have Hubbardston's trail data?
Yes, but I want more data. Can you give me the man's name?
It would be Mark Kresge on the Open Space Committee. If
Okay.
you shoot me an email, just KamenRow@hubbardstonma.gov. I'm sure I
Okay.
can
Mark,
set you up.
the guy who was your land use person?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I know Mark.
Yep. He now works for DCR again. So, but still works on the Open Space Committee.
Fantastic. Thank you, Christopher.
No problem. Any other questions from the commission? All right. How about transportation?
Yep, just that transportation's wrapping up work on our main contract, which is between Federal Highway, Federal Transit, and Mass DOT, and falls to federal fiscal year. So September 30th, we'll be wrapping up work on that. Those projects are detailed in the Mr. Mapper app. The other thing I wanted to point out is our work on the Federal Safe Streets for All program. We're wrapping up our safety action plan. Hopefully we'll have a draft ready and out for public comment by this time next month. So I'll probably mention this again. Within that plan, we made sure to mention potential projects in every community. So hopefully everyone benefits from that. Basically, we'll be qualifying a number of safety projects on roadways throughout the Montezuma region. I'll make sure to get that information out to commissioners next month. If there's any questions, feel free to reach out at any point.
Excellent. Thank you. Any questions from the commission? All right, Mr. Eden, do you have anything to add to any of the department updates?
I do not, sir.
Excellent. So moving forward into new business. Do we have any new business other than the open session? I would like to add one item to new business. DCR has put out their proposed management plans for the state forests that are in our area. Comment on these plans are due on the 12th of August. So far, DCR has been pretty disappointed by the number of comments that have come back. There hasn't really been much feedback coming in from the towns or from the regional planning organizations. And I saw that they did send a message to MRPC suggesting that they would like to receive comment from us on the management plan. I don't know if that's something that we can potentially come up with comments by then and submit.
Let me
the
look for the
commission-
email, track it down, see who got the email, and because it doesn't sound familiar to me, but I may have received it. And we can address this, tomorrow, the 8th, and, the 11th on Monday.
Yeah, and I'd be happy to potentially chat about that too. But yeah, I know I personally, and I know also the town of Hubbardston was excited to see that there was a focus on working with local stakeholders and with the towns in the strategic management plans, specifically for Hubbardston State Forest and Westminster State Forest. So it is certainly a step in the right direction from our standpoint, where the properties were previously more so managed from afar. We're very excited to see the plans call out for local engagement in a way that I think makes a lot of sense. Awesome. Anybody else have any new business?
I personally don't see anything in my email from DCR, but that doesn't mean I.
Yeah, I don't
I'll dig
either.
out the message. I'll dig out the
Yeah.
message. They at least tried to send it. I don't know if they got the email address wrong, but on the email that went to me, Glenn was also listed on it.
Okay.
Christopher, could you forward that to me, please? Just put it
Yeah.
at the top of my pile. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Absolutely. All right. If there is no new business, would somebody like to make a motion? Oh, and before somebody makes a motion, once again, thank you all for tuning in the dog days of summer. These June, well, not so much June, but July and August meetings are tough to make, and I really appreciate everybody making the effort to get here, because getting here is what makes this happen. So thank you all again very much. And with that, would somebody like to make a motion?
Guy Carpacero, move to adjourn.
Here in a
Bob Schwartz,
first, do we have a second? Here in a first and a second, non-debatable, do we have any objections? All right, well, we are adjourned. Well, thank you to the staff for having this so well prepared for us, and we'll all talk again in about a month.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.